Hi guys, it is Wednesday of week 6 and today we're going to be doing a general review because tomorrow is your test. So instead of going to a YouTube video just like last test, you're going to go and find the test number 14. I believe I said test number 13 on the week at a glance, but it's test number 14 and you'll work out that test for me tomorrow. Okay, and then Friday, we won't have class, we won't have a Zoom meeting because we're going to be celebrating our Mother's Tea. So you have the day off on Friday, but make sure you spoil your mom or your mom figures in your life. Okay, guys, so let's go to page 273. And while you get that in a pencil, I'm going to go ahead and share it with you. There we go. So the ones in blue obviously are going to be your homework. I'll go over at the end of the lesson, but there's not what are... Let's try this again. It is a review. So what we're going to be doing, or what I'm going to be doing with you, is reviewing. And if you want, you could always pause. So I'm not going to tell you to pause. Well, I might tell you a couple times, but you can always pause and work them out and then check with me after you've done it, or check with the video. Okay? So let's go to number 1A. We have 12 hours, 15 minutes, 6 hours, 45 minutes, and plus 8 hours, 12 minutes. So when we do these, what we do is we're going to add this column first in minutes. Then we're going to jump over to the hours and add the hours column. So let's add them now. 5 plus 5 is 10 plus 2 is 12. 1 plus 1 is 2 plus 4 is 6 plus 1 is 7. So I have 72 minutes. And I have, let's add our hours now. 2 plus 6 is 8 and 8 plus 8 is 16. 1 plus 1 is 2. So what we have here is 26 hours, 72 minutes. Can I leave it like that? Nope, we have to convert it because I know, and I'm going to go ahead and erase this right here because I'm going to be highlighting a little bit, but I know that there is less than 72 hours in minutes in an hour, right? How many minutes are in 1 hour? 60 minutes. And how many groups of 60 can we get out of 72? We can get one group of 60 out of 72. So basically what we're doing is trading 60 minutes for 1 hour. So we're going to add the 1 hour, but we're going to subtract the 60 minutes. We're doing an even exchange. We're not adding or subtracting anything that's not already there. We're taking a group of 60 minutes, taking that away and trading it for an hour and adding the hour in. So when that's done, what's left is 27 hours. Well, you don't have to put the S. 27 hours and 12, now it won't work. 27 hours and 12 minutes. Okay. Oh my goodness. That won't work on me. Okay. Yes, please laugh at my folly. Woo, okay, it's working. Okay, let's move on to 2, or letter B. So we're doing the same thing here. We're adding again. 23 pounds, 15 ounces, plus 18 pounds, 9 ounces. When we add, all we do is add the columns up and then transfer if we need to, or convert measurements if we need to. So 15 plus 9 is 24 ounces. 23 plus 18, 3 plus 8 is 11. 1 plus 2 plus 1 is 4. So I have 41 pounds, 24 ounces. How many ounces are in a pound? Good, if you said 24, excellent. There's 24 ounces in a pound. So they're not 24 ounces in a pound. There's 16 ounces in a pound, right? So we have to take groups of 16 out and add it to the pound. How many groups of 16 can you get out of 24? One group of 16. So we're going to subtract 16 ounces and change that into pounds. Add 1 pound. I'm not taking anything that's not there. What I'm doing is just basically exchanging the 16 for the 1 pound, the 16 ounces for the 1 pound. So 24 minus 16 is 8 ounces. 41 plus 1 is 42. 42 pounds, 8 ounces. Well, what about if we're doing multiplying? Okay, well with multiplying, it's not too different, but you're going to use the bottom factor with both of the parts of 15 gallons, 2 quarts. So the first thing we'll do is 2 times 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 quarts. Then, if you just take it step by step, it becomes really easy. We're going to take the 2 and we're going to multiply it by the 15. 2 times 15 is 30. And guys, I know I've said this several times, but if you use markers or highlighters and do your math in color, it does definitely help you a lot. So sorry. Okay, so every time we do a problem like this, we ask ourselves, can I convert quarts to gallons? Well, how many quarts are in a gallon? 4 quarts in a gallon. So I'm gonna take away 4 quarts and I'm gonna add my 1 gallon. Is it always 1 that we're adding? Nope, sometimes like if it said 8 quarts, then we would add 2 gallons and take away 8 quarts. So it's not always 1, but in just this case, it's been a 1. So that leaves us with 31 gallons. Now, if you're confused, I want you to go back and rewind. I've only been having the video for about 3 or 4 minutes. So if you are confused, please go back and rewind and watch them again. There's no harm in that. And actually, it's very commendable that you would do that if you're having a hard time. And please contact me if you're having a really hard time and are not understanding it. Okay. Letter E. We have 28 yards, 1 foot, minus 19 yards, 2 feet. Well, first thing we do is we look here. Can I do 1 minus 2? Because guess what? A lot of people would just do this. No, that is not what we do because you cannot do 1 minus 2. It is not possible. I cannot take 2 things away from this one thing right here in front of me, right? It just can't happen. So when that happens, we go to the neighbor. We'll take 1 from the 28 and that leaves 27. And how many feet are in a yard? 3 feet in a yard. So we're going to add the 3. Now remember, with the subtraction, we rewrite the problem. So our new problem is, or our updated problem is, 27 yards, 4 feet, minus 19 yards, 2 feet. Now the bottom one always stays the same. That's the minuend minus subtrahend. The subtrahend never changes. Now we can subtract. 4 minus 2 is 2 feet. 27 minus 19, well, 7 minus 9 can't do it. Go to your neighbor. 17 minus 9 is 8. So our final answer is 8 yards, 2 feet. And if you've done the conversions properly, then you won't need to convert after you've done the subtraction, okay? Okay, now letter F is something where, I'm gonna rewrite it in a different color for you. We've seen it like this. Now it's written a little bit funny, right? Usually we see it like this. 7 pints, 1 cup equals how many cups? If you need to, just rewrite it the way you've seen it. This one's kind of like a vertical and we're used to seeing it horizontal. And sometimes that can throw us off, but let's not let it. So we're converting 7 pints, 1 cup to cups. This is a magic number problem. 1, 2, 3. And if you need to, guys, I would like you to please use a scratch piece of paper. I am not doing that so that I can have room on the paper to show you. So I'm going from pints to cups. Which one's bigger? Pints to cups. So we're going to multiply. And how many cups are in a pint? 2 cups in a pint. Good. And are we going to convert 7 pints to cups or cups to cups? Even just saying it sounds silly, right? We're going to convert 7 pints to cups. So we're going to do our 7 pints times the 2 cups, which equals 14. And then we're going to add the 1 cup that we already have. So 7 pints, 1 cup equals 15 cups. Remember, you multiply or divide what you're trying to convert. And in this case, we were converting pints. And then you add what the measurement, so in this case, we already had cups. So we just added the cups that we had into that problem. Okay, let's look here. I am going to actually go ahead and skip the metric because it's not going to be on your test, and I would like to focus what's going to be on your test. And so let's go ahead and go to, so we're skipping metric. So guys, this test will not have metric in it. You are welcome. We're just going to be working on the ones that we've been practicing, okay? Let's go to letter M. Now, letter M, sometimes these freak us out, to be honest with you, right? We see something that says 4 sevenths squared, and we're like, what? What is this? But really, all it is 4 sevenths times 4 sevenths. Now, right away, people would tell me 8/14ths, and I might pass out because we're multiplying, right? When we multiply fractions, we just multiply the numerators and then multiply the denominators. So what is 4 times 4? 16. And what is 7 times 7? 49. That's it. Those are super simple. Super, super, super. We got those. Okay, how about letter N? On letter N, I have 5 7/8 plus 3 3/4 plus 2 1/2. Now, whenever you're adding with fractions or subtracting with fractions, you always have to have the same what? What are you always looking for? The same denominator. Now, let's take a look at our denominators. We have an 8, a 4, and a 2. What would be a common denominator for all three of those, 8, 4, and 2? If you said 8, you are 100% right. So if it's 8 that we're looking for, or 8 that we're working with, this one would stay the same. 7/8 stays the same. Okay, what would 3/4 become? Remember, in class, we would always ask 4 times what is 8? 4 times 2. So if 4 times 2 is 8, we do the same thing to the numerator, and excuse the blurriness. 3 times 2 is 6. Let's do the same thing for our last fraction. We're making 8s in an equivalent fraction of 8s. So 2 times what is 8? 4. So 1 times 4 is 4. Now, all we have to do is add up the numerators. So let's do that. 7 plus 6 is 13, plus 4 is 17. So I have 17/8, and we'll get back to fixing that in a minute. And then we're going to add the whole numbers. What is 5 plus 3? 8 plus 2 is 10. So my number that I have here is 10 17/8. Well, can I leave it like that? Nope. This right here, I'm going to use a different color, is an improper fraction. So if it's an improper fraction, we need to change it to a mixed number and then add it to our whole number that we already have. So there's one of two ways we can do this. We can do this mentally, or we can do it with pencil and paper. Pencil and paper would be like this. 17 divided by 8. How many times does 8 go into 1? Can't do it. How about how many times 8 into 17? 2 times. So 2 times 8 is 16. So we get 2 and 1/8, because 8 is our denominator and 1 will become our numerator. So this equals 10 plus 2 and 1/8. Now, if we wanted to convert this mentally, we could ask ourselves, how many times does 8 go into 17 without going over? 2 times. 2 times 8 is 16. 16 minus 17 is 1. So 2 and 1/8. Okay? And some of you guys are there and some of you guys aren't. So that's okay. This is totally respectable. Actually, I respect you for working it out, because working it out shows that you are trying your very best to get the answers correct. Okay? So 10 plus 2 and 1/8 is 12 and 1/8. And that's our final answer. Awesome possum. You guys are doing great. If you need to, take a break and come back. But let's move on now. So letter P. We are multiplying with fractions. And multiplying with fractions is pretty easy. You just multiply the numerators and then multiply the denominators and then reduce if you have to. But sometimes we have a mixed number, as in 4 3/8. What do we do when we have mixed numbers? Good, we backwards C, and multiply. So when we backwards C, 8 times 4 is 32, plus 3 is 35. 35 over 8, remember we keep the original denominator, times 2/3. Now, whenever you're multiplying, so you don't have to cancel at the, or reduce at the end, you can cancel. Do 2 and 8 share a common factor? They do. What is it? It's 2. So there are 1 2 in 2. There is a 1 2 in 2. And there are 4 2s in 8. Now we can multiply. 35 times 1 is 35. 4 times 3 is 12. Okay, just like we did with the last problem, again, we need to change this improper fraction to a mixed number. So 35 divided by 12. And if you want to try it mentally, go ahead, but I'm going to do it on paper. So how many times 12 go into 3? Nope. How about 12 into 35? 1 is 12, 2 is 24, 3 is 36. Oh, that's too far. How many times? 2 times. 2 times 12 is 24. Then we subtract, and we get 11. Now it's super close to 12, but it's not going over, so it can be a remainder. So 2 and 11, 12. So we're going to add that up here. 2. Come on, iPad. Sometimes it's picky. Okay. 2 and 11, 12. Let's keep going. Letter Q. Oh, we have a dividing with fractions. Do we do the same thing? We do the same thing in the fact we need to change these in improper fractions. So we have to do backwards C. Okay. When I first met my husband, he made noises all the time for things. So it's funny when I start making noises because I think he's rubbed off on me a little bit. But 1.5. 2 times 1 is 2 plus 1 is 3. So 1.5 becomes 3/2. Divided by 4 times 3 is 12 plus 1 is 13. 13 over 4. Can I do just 3 divided by 13 and 4? And what do I have to do? Keep, change, flip, right? Keep, change, flip. So we keep the 3/2, we change the multiply to a divide to a multiply, and we flip 13/4 and become 4/13. Now, with any multiplying fractions, can we cancel? Do 3 and 13 share a common factor? No, but do 2 and 4? Yes, they share a 2. 1, 2, and 2, 2 2s and 4. So 2 times 3 is 6, and 1 times 13 is 13. Do I need to reduce any further? Nope, because I don't have to reduce any further because I have already done the reduction when I do the cancellation. So our final answer is 6/13. Okay, guys, so if you look at 2B, you have a different on your paper. This is 2B, but I've blown it up and I've moved it down so that we can work on it. So the question, or let's read this word problem. It says, last week, Sydney practiced piano for 4 hours, 15 minutes. Her brother, Brett, practiced for 3 hours, 40 minutes. How much longer did Sydney practice? Always underline our question. What is the question? How much longer did Sydney practice? That's your question. And then we're going to circle some important information. So important information can be numbers or numbers written out in letter or word form. In this case, we have an important information of 4 hours, 15 minutes for Sydney and 3 hours, 40 minutes for Brett. And then the question says, how much longer? When you have a question worded like that, what process are we going to use? Are we going to use multiplication, division, subtraction? What do you think we're going to use? We're going to use subtraction. So let's do that. Is it going to be 3 hours, 40 minutes minus 4 hours, 15 minutes? No, because you can't do the smaller minus the bigger, right? So it is 4 hours, 15 minutes minus 3 hours, 40 minutes. Okay, let's go ahead and subtract. I'm going to use a different color. 15 minus 40. Can we do that? Nope. So we'll have to go to the hours and take 1 away. And then how many minutes are in an hour? 60. So we're going to add the 60 minutes here. And remember, if we subtract, we're going to write a brand new problem out. So we have 3 hours, 60 plus 15, 75 minutes minus 3 hours, 40 minutes. Okay, now we're able to subtract. Now we can do this. Okay, my line is crooked. That's funny. I don't want a crooked line. Okay, so 75 minus 40. What is 75 minus 40? 35. 35 minutes. What is 3 minus 3? 0. So he practiced, or she practiced for 35 minutes longer. Okay. Now, ooh. Let's look at 2B. So I'm going to go ahead and write that in there. 35 minutes longer. Okay, now let's look at C. C says the outside temperature was 100 degrees Fahrenheit. What was the temperature Celsius? Find the answer to the nearest whole degree. Well, our question is, what was the temperature Celsius? Our fact is it was 100 degrees Fahrenheit. So we're going to do some conversions. We are going to convert this is 2C, 100 degrees Celsius equals how many degrees Fahrenheit? And let's make sure that's what it said. It's 100 degrees Fahrenheit and how many degrees Celsius? I did that backwards. Okay. See, it's always good to look at it. Nope, did I write it again the same way? Oh my goodness, people. Fahrenheit is how much Celsius? Woof. Okay, now that we're cooking, now let's get going. Okay, so what formula am I gonna use? The C formula. C equals 5/9 times F minus 32. You're going to need that formula and also the F formula or the Fahrenheit formula for tomorrow's test. Okay, so let's look. C equals 5/9 times 100 minus 32, because 100 is our 100 degrees Fahrenheit. C equals 5/9 times, I like to come over here and work this out because sometimes when we work it out, we don't necessarily get the right answer unless we're working it out diligently. Times 68 over 1. Now, do 9 and 68 share any common factors? Does 9 go into 68? No, it does not. Does 3 go into 68? No, it does not. So when we're faced with a problem like that, what we have to do is multiply the numerators. So let's see what that is. 68 times 5, 340 over 9. So we multiply the numerators and then divide by the denominator. So we're going to do 340 divided by 9 because 9 is our denominator. 9 goes into 3 no times. 9 goes into 35 3 times. 9 times 3 is 27. 14 minus 7 is 7. Bring down the 0. 9 goes into 70. What's 9 times 8? 72. What's 9 times 7? 63. So 7 times. So we get 37 and 7/9. Now the question said to round to the nearest whole percent, or excuse me, the nearest whole degree. So 7/9. Who remembers, I believe it was Monday, it may have been last week, but I believe it was Monday, that anytime you have a fraction over 9, what is your decimal? Because when we want to round, it's easier to round with decimals, right? C equals 37 point, you guessed it, if you did, good job, 777. It's the numerator repeating. So let's look, if we're going to round to the nearest whole percent, we look at the ones place, which is the 7 in this case. The 7 in the tens place is helping us to round up or stay the same. So what does 37.7 degrees become? 38 degrees Celsius. Excellent. So we'll come back here and we'll write 38 degrees Celsius. Okay, let's move on to 3B. I was tutoring this week and I noticed that these are the problems that are giving some of us a little bit of trouble because we are so used to seeing something like this. Something similar like this, right? And we're like, oh yeah, 4 times 2 is 8, so 3 times 2 is 6. And those are easy. But sometimes, and it's not saying that the problem that we're going to work out is not easy, but sometimes we have to cross multiply. When we're faced with a proportion that we can't easily find the equivalent answer, we do something called cross multiplying. And so that means we do like a little X. Okay, so we're going to do this one first. What is 4 times y? Any number times a variable is just those two stuck together. 4y equals 3 times 11, 33. Now, 4y equals 33. How do I get y isolated? How do I get y by itself? Divide by 4. Because if we're timesing by 4, we want to divide by 4. So y equals 33 over 4. Now I want to change that to a mixed number. How do I do that? Just do 33 divided by 4. How many times does 4 go into 33 without going over? 8 times. 8 times 4 is 32. My remainder is 1, so it becomes 1 over 4. So y equals 8 and 1/4. So anytime you're faced with a proportion that you cannot easily just find the answer, then do cross multiplication. And easily, actually, guys, if you, let's say you had a problem like this, 3/4 equals y over 8, and you forgot to just do the multiplying, you can cross multiply here too. Look, this would be 4y equals 24, and then you divide by 4, and y equals 6. So it's the same answer, and you would, because 4 times 2 is 8 and 3 times 2 is 6, you would get the same answer. So you've always been able to do cross multiplying, you just haven't been taught how to do it yet. Cross multiplying is a good tool when you get into higher math as well. Into algebra and pre-algebra and algebra 2, take it from me. I've taught all of those, so I know that this is something that you're going to want to use in the road to come. Okay, let's look at C. Now don't let the exponents throw you off, don't let the fraction throw you off. It's okay, we're going to work it out. Y over 5, or y divided by 5 equals 2 cubed. What should we do first? We should do the 2 cubed first. Y over 5 equals 2 cubed. Remember, it's not 2 times 3, it's 2 times 2 times 2. 2 times 2 is 4, 4 times 2 is 8. So y divided by 5 equals 8, or you could say y over 5 equals 8. How do I solve now? I want to isolate y. What's the opposite of dividing by 5? Multiplying by 5. Multiply by 5. The 5's on the left side of the equation cancel, and we get y equals 40. Okay, so let's look at the back of the page, number 4, and we're going to do 4b together. Now, the directions say to find the perimeter and the area. So we're going to find the perimeter of this rectangle for B and the area of this rectangle. Perimeter for a rectangle, P equals, what's your formula? 2L plus 2W. Now, when we're doing these, I like to change, if it is a fraction that is easily changed into a decimal, I like to change the fraction into a decimal. I just believe that it's easier to multiply. Totally up to you. You can choose either way. I'm going to be changing the fraction to a decimal. So P equals 2 times my length, which is 8.75, because 8 3/4 is 8.75, plus 2 times 7.5, which is my width. Okay, so let's work it out. 8.75 times 2. 5 times 2 is 0, carry the 1. 2 times 7 is 14, plus 1 is 15, carry the 1. And 2 times 8 is 16, plus 1 is 17. 2 decimals, 17.5. So P equals 17.5 plus, and then we have 7.5 times 2. 5 times 2 is 0, carry the 1. 4 times 2, 7 times 2 is 14, plus 1 is 15. 1 decimal plus 15. And then we're going to add 17.5 plus 15. So let's do that. Now, guys, some of you might do this. Why can I not do this? Why can I not add this? It's totally incorrect. And why would it be? You have to line up your place values. So 15 is actually 15 wholes. It's like saying 15.0. Okay? So let's add. And we get perimeter equals 32.5 feet. Remember, perimeter is just the distance around, so it does not need to be squared like we do in area. So I'm going to erase all of my work over here so I can work on the area with you. Let's do the area. Area of a rectangle equals, these are pretty easy, length times width. Area equals 8.75 times 7.5. Now, like I said, you can keep it 8 3/4 times 7 1/2, totally up to you. You can choose. Okay. Area equals, I'm going to work it out, 8.75 times 7.5. You work it out, I work it out, and we'll come back and look at it. Okay, area equals, and if you don't have it yet, press pause. 65.625 or 5/8. Where's that? No, okay. 65.625 square feet for the area. Okay, guys, you are doing so great. And remember, anything that we're working on these last couple days is fair game for your test. So I want you guys, if you have a question, contact me so that we can go over it together. But tonight, your assignment is, okay, so your assignment tonight is, let's see, I think I'm going to write it up here. Page 273, numbers 1, D, J, K, L, O. Okay, number 2A, 3A and D, and then, oh yes, and then I would like you to do, let's do B and C. So the next page, number 6, B and C. So page 274, number 6, B and C. Okay, guys, I am so proud of you. You're doing great. Tomorrow's a test, and then Friday we're not going to meet because we're celebrating our moms. So I cannot wait to see you on the following Monday. We'll see you. Goodbye.